had something you wanted to bring up, right?
I texted you about this last week and you had no idea what I was talking about.
Okay.
And I needed to know, do you know these Royal Kingdom ads? This Royal Kingdom game? I got to talk to you about this.
I've never heard of this.
It's getting on my last nerve. And okay, so it's all over my TikTok and there's these ads.
Okay.
And Royal Kingdom, I guess, is this app, this game that you can play. And they have every major celebrity I've ever heard of doing ads for them. And at first I thought, is this AI? And then I was like, no, they get sued for that if they were falsely using someone's like face, right? Look at this. Can you see that?
Okay.
5-time Olympic gold medalist Amy Poehler. I've been asked to talk to you about the new puzzle game, Royal Kingdom. It is so much fun. It has absolutely no ads, which everyone can appreciate.
Like, and then
Royal Kingdom.
Royal Kingdom. Look at, yeah.
That's what I'm Googling.
Okay. Look at this.
Sorry, folks. Looks like the Wi-Fi is down.
Oh, great. What am I going to do for the next 5 hours?
Play the new puzzle game, Royal Kingdom. It's the perfect way to pass time on long flights.
They've got like, I can't give you the full list, but like they've got I think John Hamm's doing, like every.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon's do. I scroll right past him.
Royal Kingdom endorsements.
It is. So where is this? Because to have Lisa, like, to have Amy Poehler, like that's crazy expensive.
So somebody on Reddit says, in the past few hours, I've seen on YouTube ads, Shakira, Jimmy Fallon, and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart was doing one, yeah, too. I saw him, little guy.
Also got an update, LeBron James as well.
Okay, so that is, like LeBron's not just doing a ad for no reason. You haven't seen these, Adam? They're everywhere.
I have not seen it once.
And I looked it up and I was like, this just looks like a janky little game. Like, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's fun, but they would have to have deep mafia pockets.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Is it a free-to-play game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's one of those where you download it, you can play for free, and then you get just far enough, and they're like, well, if you spend $5, you might get this.
Who's the secret? Where's the kingdom money coming from?
Here we go. So I've got a Deconstructor of Fun, which is a blog.
Adam Wilde will always find the business side of things. I knew I could count on you.
LeBron James, Kevin Hart, Jimmy Fallon, Shakira, Amy Poehler, Sofia Vergara, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Kaylee Cuoco, and Johnny Galecki. 10 A-listers, multiple ad creatives, NBA playoff ad placements, social media blitzes. If you live on Earth, you have seen it. And apparently I don't live on Earth. So
it is, because even just the usage on that, like to pay an influencer or an actor, the usage on that alone. Like,
yes. So I'm trying to figure out.
Like how much money would it cost you to get LeBron James in a
an absolute fortune.
Yes.
An absolute fortune.
Like even one of those A-listers, the company wouldn't have money to buy.
Yeah. It's interesting. It doesn't
Adam, I need you to get me the trail, the paper trail here.
Here's what I found.
What is it?
Do you want to hear?
Yeah.
So it's a version of a different game called Royal Match. So
I remember that one.
It's part of the family, the royal family. So then it says that it's a Turkish game developer, but it says the co-founder of Pixar and former president of Walt Disney Animation Studios became a part of Dream Games, who has all these royal
is that John
games.
Lasseter or who? What's his name?
Edwin Catmull.
Oh, Ed Catmull. Okay, I've read about him.
So that's where the money's coming from.
Became a part of Dream Games in December 2023, working as a strategic advisor.
Whoa. Interesting.
Like that?
So, so here's the deal. There is so much money in free to play. There is so much money. Now, Istanbul and London says where this company's based out of. So I have no idea who's investing in it, but I'll give you an idea. So on the video game side of things, Fortnite's the biggest game in the world and has been for like 6 years. How is that possible? Fortnite is free to play. Fortnite is you download it and you play.
Yeah.
And you don't ever have to spend a cent. And before I had a kid, I played Fortnite.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I mean, it's a really fun
incredible,
game.
Yeah.
You play with your whatever. And the thing is though, you can buy upgrades you can't buy like in-game upgrades. Like you're not going to make yourself a better player, but you buy costumes and outfits and whatever else and to customize your character. And when you have that many people playing, there's a desire for you to stand out because everybody looks the same in their in-game character, right? So I remember playing, and it was with like my adult friends.
Yeah.
And these kids were like chirping us because they're like, oh, you got the original skins. You didn't pay for it, blah, blah, blah. And there was like a social pressure. And I felt it of like, well, should I buy myself my own, like, because they have these crazy outfits and they've got Star Wars integrations and Marshmallow's done something on it. Like everybody, pop culture, Marvel has been a part of it. And so yeah, like there's this thing where you end up spending in game on something that just makes you look different. But when you scale that out worldwide, it's an absolute fortune. It's crazy money.
And they, like I read this somewhere, but Fortnite was making so much money so quickly that like to upgrade, like their software developers and like their designers they were able to hire the best in the world for that game.
And they have actually sued Apple. Did you know that?
No.
They said the App Store is a monopoly because it's the only one allowed on the iPhone. You can't get other apps on the iPhone. You have to get it through the App Store. And the App Store charges like 30% or something like that of all the revenue you make through the app that you downloaded from the App Store. So they make money.
Adam always knows the inside track. Take me on a ride.
So Epic Games, which is different from this company, Epic Games spent something like tens of millions of dollars suing Apple, and they just recently won. And I think Apple's going to appeal. But essentially, they were basically suing for the ability to go, well, no, we're not just gonna hand this money over to Apple. This is ridiculous. We have to. So it's a crazy thing. Now I'm looking at Royal Kingdom, right? This is the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Fully released November 21st, 2024. It had already surpassed $20 million in revenue since its soft launch in April 2023. So you think about it. Okay, so they soft launch it, and that means that they don't announce anything. They just put it on the App Store. So when they hard launched it, and when these campaigns with Jimmy Fallon and Kevin Hart and all that stuff, once that started happening, and that started in the States and then now has gone to Canada, as a soft launch for this game, they'd already made enough money, the $20 million, to pay for the celebrities that they then hired to endorse.
But also, even if they could get a financial, like, even if they were like, okay, we're almost there to hire all these, if they can get the investors or whoever behind them, because these A-listers will have everybody talking, and it's working because I'm sitting.
Well, you're talking
to you about it. I am now like, how good could it be? And I want to download it. I'm influenced. So it would be like, if you could get the investors, it would be worth it to put the investment into getting all those A-listers.
Yes.
But they've already made enough money.
So so Royal Match was first made in Canada, available in Canada, Turkey, and the UK for a limited test in July 2020. During its test, it received 100 million downloads, 1 million downloads, 200,000 daily average players. So 20% of their average players were coming back every day. Royal Match, by the way, the game is you follow King Robert as he fixes his castle. It kind of is like Candy Crush or Bejeweled, like one of those.
I love
games.
Bejeweled.
You like Bejeweled? Well, this is the same thing.
I love Bejeweled.
In mid-2021, it reached the top 20 highest grossing mobile games in the US, UK, and Germany, over 6 million users.
Damn, okay.
And then August 2021, it had 16 million downloads. Most popular in the US at 28%. The UK and Germany at 7%. Despite its free-to-play approach, it gained $102 million in revenue from its first 6 months in operation. The U.S. accounted for $67 million of that.
Listen, this is what's happening.
That's how they're paying for it.
While Grand Theft Auto is taking 20 years to come out, like Royal Kingdom is just killing it with all the.
What's great about it is you don't have to have Wi-Fi. You don't have to spend any money. And it's like a puzzle game. So it's something that you can play on the subway, you can play it on the bus, you can play it on an airplane, and it's just a very easy, mindless sort of, like, easier than Tetris sort of thing.
Am I going to enter the kingdom on my flight?
I think you might.
I think I'm going to. I
mean, this seems like a game for you.
I think on my flight tonight, I'm going to enter the kingdom.
You going to help King Robert?
I mean, King Bobby, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
There you go. King Bobby, let me help you out. Yeah, I've been influenced. At first, I thought it was the AI, and then I was like, they couldn't do that. That would be illegal, right?
They can't. That is 100%
Oh my God.
illegal.
Okay, Amy Poehler. She's on board. I'm on board.
You like it?
I guess.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And you know what's insane is, like, they told us in school, they're like, guys, pay attention to computers.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if you're gonna do something, go make some money, go do something in computers. And I was like, who needs that shit? I don't need to learn to code. Some guy at some point in the last 20 years was like, you know what? I had this idea for a game. And you think about where Angry Birds came from. There was the game called Flappy Bird. Do you remember Flappy Bird? It was
I remember that bird, but I never played.
Yeah, the guy
too pushy.
That was too pushy. One guy created that in like his bedroom, and then got so depressed by the game's success, I think because it was so overwhelming, that he literally was like, I'm shutting it down, and Flappy Bird no longer exists. He shut it down. He just
Flappy
shut it.
Bird's dead?
Flappy Bird is dead. And I love Flappy Bird. It was fun. And then remember the guy that created Minecraft?
No.
So the guy that created Minecraft, the game, actually ended up selling it for several $1 billion. And the first thing he bought, or one of the first things he bought after he sold it, was a house that Jay-Z and Beyonce desperately wanted. It was like $100 million, and he beat them out for it, which is nuts.
And then became incredibly depressed and lived in his castle.
That's
what I imagine. That's what I imagine things happen.
Yes, he did. Because here was the thing. He sold Minecraft because he was a game developer. He didn't want to run the company. He didn't want to make business decisions.
He just wanted to,
Yeah. So then he sells the company, but then now he doesn't get to do either. So he kind of got a little depressed by that. And I think he's struggled a little bit.
What happens when you get everything that you've ever wanted?
Well, I don't think that was what he wanted. I think he wanted to design video games. That was his purpose.
No, but I mean, like when you get like the money and the thing, yeah.
Again, though, like not everybody wants that kind of money.
No.
Not everybody's like excited about that amount of money. I could manage that. I can handle that. I could have a good time.
I heard you can be rich and depressed.
Yes, you can. Yes,
I've heard that.
How crazy is that, though? Right?
Wild. Just depressed with more money.